Ghana?
Thanks, Chair. I wanted the DM to be here. I don't like these long speeches. I don't have the energy for the long speeches. DM, thanks very much. And the board chair. When is the contract of the current CEO expiring? I want an answer. No, I want an answer, please. I only have 3 minutes.
Ghana, let me stop your time. Ghana, through me, please.
Hey, thanks very much.
Yeah, load your questions.
I'm asking for 3 minutes. In the 3 minutes that you'll have allocated me, my questions will be asked and answered.
Okay.
Yes.
My problem with that is that if everyone would want to take that approach, we're going to have a dialogue.
3 minutes.
Just ask questions.
No, Chair. I know that I don't want for us to end up in that dialogue that was happening with the acting CEO. I want to flow with my questions. I'm going somewhere. Please allow me. In the same way that you arrived at that interrogation with the CEO, with the acting CEO, because what was being given was not adequate. I'm asking for 3 minutes to have a conversation with RAF and the Deputy Minister.
I don't think we must move in that way, Ghana.
I'm asking.
Declined.
When is the contract of the current CEO expiring? I'm requesting for an answer.
What's the next question, Ghana?
No, Chair.
It is not going to happen that they'll answer you.
Chair. With the utmost of respect, I believe that what your ruling in this particular matter is not assisting us in holding the board and the executive accountable. The reason I say this, Chair, is because when there were none answers given, you could ask follow-up questions. I don't want to come back. I don't wish to come back. And my questions are related to the first question. And if that first question is not answered, then it means that I will be not asked the questions in the way that I want to ask them.
You are at liberty to ask questions. I'll allow you to come back. Feel free to come back.
How many minutes do I have, Chair?
You have 3 minutes, but you'll have other minutes to come back.
Let me use 10 seconds and I'll come back for the 2 minute 50 second.
Peace.
When is the current contract of the CEO expiring? And whether you have or you intend to advertise for that position. I'll come back and finish my 3 minutes, Chair.
Very much. Next speaker, Honorable Montana. No, it's Honorable Blose.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Chair, I don't have much time, and I'm not going to waste my time with the board. Chairperson of the board, did you mislead this committee when you were supposed to come to our virtual meeting last week? Why were you not in our meeting? The deputy minister, you misled him. He gave a report of your absentia in that meeting. And you misled him because what he gave in that meeting was untrue, because someone else said there, the reason you were not in the meeting is because you had a previous board meeting the previous night which ended very late. But the deputy minister gave us a different story. So why were you not in our meeting last week? That's one. Two, on the day of our meeting, you were working. You signed the special leave rejection or whatever the thing that you guys were advised of. And you also signed the suspension of the CEO. Again, Deputy Chair, you prepared a report and came to our meeting and told us that the CEO is suspended. And the chair asked you in that meeting, has the CEO been told that he's suspended, as you are telling us? And when you said yes to us, but you didn't have a signed suspension letter from your chairperson, because our meeting started at 8:30. You didn't have it when you communicated that decision. Again, you lied to us. It is a board that keeps making wrong decisions. You placed the CEO under special leave. You were told by a legal opinion that the decision was wrong. But the legal opinion did not tell you to suspend the CEO. Again, you've taken a wrong decision. And I feel that DM, you are interfering with board decisions, because you ought to leave the board to do its work. And if they take wrong decision, then you charge them with insubordination. Because this hoo-ha now that the CEO is charged with insubordination because he did not attend a SCOPA meeting. It was a board decision not to attend a SCOPA meeting. And DM, you interfered with that decision. And the board sitting here, I'm asking you, Chair, do you have a resolution of the board to rescind that decision after the Deputy Minister had instructed you? Which meeting? When did you sit a meeting and rescind a decision that you are not, that now, on the instruction of the Deputy Minister, you are now going to attend SCOP? Because now the bulk is placed on the CEO. Okay. Direct question, Chair. Is the CEO suspended for the SIU report? Yes or no?
Let's move towards.
Chair, I've got 30 seconds. Okay,
You
Chair.
don't determine your own minutes.
All right, Chair. DM, the board took a resolution to reappoint the CEO, and they did a 360 evaluation on the CEO. That report the board has not finalized. You have instructed them to go and re-advertise for that position. I don't understand. I don't know if DM, you have got the legislation mandate to do that. Is that not interference? Because again, the board is taking a lot of decisions that now are being rescinded. The board took a decision to go and challenge the issue of Discover. They won against that issue. They took a decision to go and challenge the issue of SARS. They got an interdict on that issue. They took a decision to go and challenge AG. And the ministry is coming again and saying that the board must let go of that decision.
As you move towards conclusion.
So I don't. But Chair, I'm closing.
Finalize, close.
I'm closing, Chair. Acting Deputy Chair. I mean, my final point, Chair. You've got a tendency of where you lead to create unnecessary chaos. It's the same thing you did at Pick It Up with Amanda Nia. You charged that woman for things that are illegal, and after you've charged her and suspended her, it was found that she did nothing wrong. We see the same trend now happening here at Road Accident Fund, of which we understand that we are at the center of all this chaos.
Thank you, Honorable Plosa. Yeah.
Can I not complete, Chair?
We have completed the question. Honorable Montan.
Chair, that's very, thanks very much, Chair. I think as an elder in the committee, Chair, you'll give me more time.
How is this eldership counted?
Well, we'll do it after my 5 minutes, Chair. Let me be quick. Chair, I think, let me start where we ended the last meeting, on the 3rd. We said the board, the entire board should come, and I think that the Honorable Malimeja said, you must tell us, convince us, demonstrate to us why we shouldn't pass a motion of no confidence in the board. That was the conclusion of that discussion. And I think that listening to the discussions, I still don't have the assurance about whether, we are on the right course. And I think that 3 things, Chair, that we should use as measurement. The first one, did the board mislead the committee? That's the first issue. Did the board mislead the ministry? That's the second issue. And these questions are very important in what to do. And I want to pose some questions starting with the deputy minister, to the board, and to the acting CEO. You know, deputy minister, the issue raised by Honorable Bloss is very important. You, in the last meeting and today, you have made an assertion that everything is wrong. There's quite a lot of, or let me not put it in absolute terms, you actually gave us an impression that there's a big problem at RAF. The chair at that meeting had actually asked but when we were there, when we visited the RAF in October, we were given an impression that this is an organization working in a particular way. The entire board is here. You see, the board can delegate, but it can't abdicate. It also cannot abdicate to the acting CEO. What is within the realm of the board remains there. So if you come to us, if let's say the CEO, acting CEO, or CFO didn't deliver, you can't say it's a CFO. Ultimately, you have to put in place the strategies, the controls, and all of those things. So I think that question about risk becomes very crucial. And I don't think that you should do that. So the issue that we must assess where we misled. Number two, if the DM says there's a problem with the RAF, why is it contrary to the view that was presented to us in our visit? And I think that in what has been going on in social media, we have heard, for example, the speech by the board chair recently with the results. And I think that maybe we should play the speech. You remember at Scopa, stuff were leaked, and the chair spoke about that at great length. Also, staff, you've created a culture where staff leak stuff. So they've leaked to us, and if you listen to the results of the result, I could play it. It's in my own thing here, where the chair said we are doing so well. This is such a grave contrast between what the deputy minister is saying, okay, and what we're getting an impression. So it's either the deputy minister has done an assessment of the performance of the RAF that is objective, we can look at indicators, or we can conclude that the board misled the ministry in terms of its own performance. And I think that is very important. That's a very important issue for me.
As a wrap up.
I'm about to wrap up.
Yeah.
Chair. So, Chair, I also want to check. You asked a question at the meeting to the deputy chair, whether as we were discussing on that day, the letter of suspension had been given to the CEO, and I think that we got a confirmation. I just want, in the light of this one about the CIO, is very important. And the acting CEO, I think that perhaps you need to indicate to us when exactly did you get all these instructions. You signed yesterday. I just want to have a sense about all of these things. And Chair, in my last shot is in the light of what the deputy minister said about the board and the resolution on the standard issue. I just want to hear, because he said is the chair of the board. We've got members of the board here. They haven't spoken. We don't know what their thinking is on this issue. Because I think that for me, I want, when I stand here, to have the assurance that we've got a board that is really managing this entity. But as I see it right now, I'm actually worried that we are not getting that. And I think that what we wanted to propose to the deputy minister and therefore to the ministry,
Thank you.
that we pass a motion of no confidence in the board.
Thank you.
Because that's what we need. That's what we spoke. But
Thank
we
you,
need to see
Honorable.
the answers.
Thank you, Honorable
Thank you, Chair. I
Montana.
thought
Thank
I'm
you.
still the elder, but I realized I've been demoted, Chair. Thank you.
Ngomban, Honorable Ngomban.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Chair, let me appreciate the report and also the honest and progressive comments by the Deputy Minister when doing his opening remarks, and also indicating that there are difficulties at RAF. And the situation currently is not good. And also, in the same vein, I would like to appreciate the powers given to the committee by the rules, as that has been mentioned by the chairperson of the board. Quickly, Chair, my questions. I thought perhaps I would be given the reasons, because they outlined the SIU investigation, timelines, process followed, then reasons and policy provisions. But I couldn't hear the reasons, if we may be appraised on that. I leave the budgeted post, Chair, and the vacancies of the chief positions, the 3 chief positions. I think we need more here to say when perhaps will these positions be filled, because the chief claims officer, the chief corporate support officer, and chief investment officers are very key for the entity to function. Chair, on outstanding personal claims and direct claims versus legally represented claims, there was a say that from the acting CEO, to lodge a claim, one has to be a lawyer. What does that mean when a person is lodging a claim when he or she is not a lawyer, a direct claim? What does that mean? Then, Chair, in 2015 to 2020, the target was 1,440 days. In 2025-26 is 120 days target. Then there is a silent period of 2021 and 2024. What was the target? Those financial years. Then lastly, Chair, yes, on the second slide before the last one, that is slide number 37, there's something there that has been written, CEO post advert, but below it doesn't talk about the advert of the CEO post. What is the meaning of that heading? Thank you, Chair. Oh, the last one, let us request, Chair, to be supplied with the owners of the leased buildings, all of them, not only the Johannesburg ones. We are interested to know who are the owners of the buildings in Durban, in East London, Johannesburg, and all those areas listed there. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks very much. Honorable Malmaja.
No, thank you, Chair. Let me also follow suit and welcome this really embarrassing kind of presentation. One, in your own presentation, you said for a period of 10 years, you have spent plus minus 854 million for release. The question will be, at what point do you realize this was wrong? And why now, and why you want to give it to the CEO as if he's the only one? Then if you realized earlier on, why should we still keep you if you cannot save such funds? Still on that, you talk to us, how far are you with the court order where RAF has to pay 1.4 million to a Malawian? And how many of these foreigners are really getting this money when the South Africans are still queuing? Because your own selves is like you're not sure in terms of the papers. Chair, the earlier incident demonstrated very clearly, without any doubt, that this board that we're facing today is not assisting, and it will never assist. You have an acting CEO who is very fast to take us through. But when coming to responsibilities that can put him where he's supposed to be, he can't sign. You have got the acting chair who is time and again lying to us and who is very agitated when we deal with the matters. If she wants me to prove that, on the 3rd of June, when we had a meeting, we asked her for about and halfway of finishing the meeting. It's only then she said, then the chairperson has got the family issues that she cannot make it to the meeting. And I want to tell and put it to chairperson that you have deliberately decided not to come to that meeting. That is why your apology was to be manufactured in a way that today we are here and I'm still saying, why should we keep you? The very same reason that the Letswalo CEO was suspended because he did not attend other meeting. Why can't apply that to you? DM. In many cases, it's unfortunately but I will have to do this. A parent who's overprotecting end up in trouble. When we were here, we are trying to get exactly what is happening in RAF, where you too, you also accept that there are problems. You want to profile yourself as if you can defend everything. We are telling you in front of you, they've embarrassed you, these people. You had to stop, you have to come in, you have to seek and dig for the truth. And it's not what we're expecting you to do. We're expecting you to crack the whip. And when they come here, they must be honest with us. We're not here to play. These people are getting money of the CEO. He must tell us everything that we're supposed to do. Actually, it's not by favor. Portfolio committee, everyone who touches anything that has to do with transport is accountable to us. Yourself, the minister, and this board. And if we are not happy with this board, we must tell you that we are not satisfied. We want them here. If we are to put so that the public can know why we invited Mr. Letswalo, it's exactly what the earlier incident by the CEO prevailed, where we could not get exactly the sense of what is happening. Chair, when it suits you, the law applies. Here, when it suits you, the law applies. We are telling you that by the time Mr. Letswalo was sent home and other things, some other papers were not signed. Here again, you are attesting to us that you suspend the CIO without even having a written letter on that.
As you conclude, Honorable Malmat.
And I agree, Chair, when I land this board, that question hasn't been asked. Do you see yourself still relevant, can be kept by us? Give us the reason why we must not dissolve you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Malmat. Yeah, I think I've captured everyone. You lead the pack once again.
Chairperson, thank you very much. At the very outset of this meeting, I indicated that yesterday I had a full day meeting with the board. I'm compiling a report with the ADG and I'm considering my options. But there's information and issues which are still outstanding. The second point, Chair, I'm not sure of this very grandiose characterization that I'm interfering. The decision of the board to place the CEO on special leave was a decision of the board which they communicated to us. Honorable Blosse is a member of SCOPA, and he would know how I reported that matter. One thing, Chairperson, I'm very clear about is the fundamental difference between interference and interface, and the absolute responsibility that we have to ensure that there's due compliance. It is not interference to tell a board to come to Parliament for it to account to Parliament. What was I supposed to do? Smile and wave and kiss babies? When a board of an entity within my purview takes a wrong decision, which I've repeatedly said that it was wrong, to go to a meeting which he, Honorable Blosse, is a member of. That's the second point. Thirdly, I have a responsibility to ensure stability in entities. The contract of the CEO ends on the 6th of August, 2025. Recruitment processes take a long time. I'm saddled with another entity where we have not been able to appoint a CEO. And that has given me the experience of why it is necessary to make sure that things are done on good time. I requested a full and comprehensive list of the expirations of the CEOs and the boards within the purview of delegations, which we have presented to this committee. Now, the minister has to appoint a CEO on the basis of a recommendation from the committee. All of us here who are public reps are elected on a 5-year term. And we go and subject ourselves to the biggest panel there is in this country, the electorate, when that term of office expires, for it to make a determination of what it does with us. Somebody who applied or wanted to apply 5 years ago and did not meet the requirements and meet them now has got a legitimate expectation that when a contract ends, they will be considered if they apply and meet the minimum requirements. Ukhuluma ngo 360 ke and evaluations. If he has that report, good for him. I don't have it.
Yeah.
What I have asked the board
Chair.
to do.
What is that, Honorable Bloss?
Chair, I asked a question in that. So the DM must not say it's my report. When I made that articulation, I asked the question to the board. Do they have a resolution to reappoint, and have they done a 360 evaluation on the CEO? It's the question the board must tell us.
No,
So the DM must not pack it back to me.
Oh.
I put it to the board. I need a response from them.
Honorable Bloss.
So it's not my. It's a question I asked.
Honorable Bloss, thanks for the intervention. It's fine. You don't have to be emotive on it. Yeah, that's the context, Honorable DM. This question is not.
Nonetheless, Chairperson, it's two sides of the same coin. He says that I'm interfering. I'm interfering when I'm asking the board to follow due process, when I'm not implementing the due process. I'm saying to you, Chairperson, if the CEO, whom has a contractual relationship with the entity and his term of office expires and has a wish to continue as the CEO, he must go through the process like everyone else. How is that interference? I say this, Chairperson, because over the weekend there was some tweet about all sorts of manner of things coming from members of parliament. It's saying we have taken decisions that we have not. You see, Chair, what is going to collapse this oversight responsibilities is an outlook to want to be a player in the referee. My only expectation is for the board to ensure, already now we are in June. We have to now ask ourselves the questions, what happens on the 6th of August? Right? And that's why I say there's a responsibility for stability. And I stand by the outlook that we need to advertise because the term of office will expire. It's a contractual obligation, relationship. I mean, unless there is some magic wand that can be waved outside the act. But what I need to do, because by the way, Chair, maybe for clarity, all submissions in the Department of Transport on any matter come via the departmental structures that ADG and myself and go to Minister. I must be in a position to advise the Minister correctly, and I intend on doing so. When I receive a report from the board on the due processes that have been followed for the purposes of filling the vacancy of the CEO of RAF. As we are seated now, we are currently in the process of advertising, as the advert is already out, for the board of the RTMC, so that we've got a lead time, so when it expires, we are able to fill the vacancy. We have gone on far too long in government, in my own assessment, where we leave things to the last minute. It will not happen under my watch. So if that is interference, then charge me. Charge me.
DM.
Yeah. Then, Chair.
DM, that part we don't charge. We don't. So you are daring us to charge you now. Don't go that direction. Just continue to provide answers.
Then, Chair, is the issue around...
Just DM. Honorable Muthan.
Chair, can we tariff so that the DM deals with this thing properly in the proper context? The question is, in filling the position of a CEO of an entity.
Speak to the mic.
Sorry, in filling the position of a CEO of an entity. Is that the responsibility of the board, or is that the responsibility of the department? The board comes to a determination. It recommends for cabinet concurrence. So I think that it is in that context that Bloss is raising this issue, DM, not all the other issues that we are addressing.
Covered. I think the point is covered.
Chair, let me start.
Do you still want to say something on it?
Yes, because
Okay.
there's a... No. Chair, I asked for a schedule of boards and CEOs. The lead time of the due processes is long. I asked the board to begin the processes of the filling of the vacancy so that when we come to the 6th of August, we have gone through all the processes. We are not to start on the 6th. That's point number one. Secondly, the board will recommend to the minister, and I will ensure that the minister receives that recommendation, and we will take it to cabinet for the minister to appoint. It's the minister who appoints. And all I'm saying is the minister delegated entities to myself, including RAF, in the assist of the exercise of her responsibilities. And I am indicating here that where vacancies are bound to arise, we are to fill those vacancies. It's as simple as that. And what I'm saying is that it must happen because there is a contract of 5 years. I've not said I'm going to advertise. I've not said I'm going to interview. All I've said is do what you must so that we can be in a position to fill the vacancy when the time arises. It's elementary, Chair. It's common cause. It will happen. And I'm saying, Chair, in the Scopa meeting where this matter arose, it was raised in that meeting, the latest developments insofar as the substantive CEO is concerned, who is now on suspension, are quite apart from that. They are recent. My correspondence in Dal on this matter. So the two are not related. And I indicated, and that's why I kept on emphasizing that in my view, the special leave is without prejudice. But it must go through a process.
I think that
Then
point
lastly,
is
Chair,
substantively covered now.
Lastly, Chair, I'm accused of interference insofar as the board decision is concerned about coming to Parliament. No, I don't think so. I think I was doing and will continue to do what I believe is right, that when called upon to do so, we must appear before Parliament. You will know that yesterday I brought to your attention that we have this legal conundrum of the matter being in court. But we are here today with the board. There was overtures to say, can we postpone and so on, and ultimately we came to the decision that we must appear before Parliament. Is that interference? Because I think, Chair, what I will not accept is characterizations which are baseless, which seek to cast aspersions on myself. We go to the issue that is being raised about SARS and court. when I was briefed by the board chairperson, after they wrote to me that there's a 5.1 billion rands matter, and the intergovernmental mediation was to proceed, and the board said that they're going to court, we gave them the support and the green light to do so. So is that interference? I think what we need to distinguish, Chair, is that the issue of the accounting standard is ultimately wrong. It's completely and utterly wrong. Because what will happen next, we're going to be called here, and it will be the very same committee that says, on your watch. You see? Now, let me then say this.
Yeah, wrap it up there. Honorable Montana, I'm not sure you still want to make that intervention, really.
Is to say, Chair.
Chair, so that when the deputy minister, because I think I don't want us to speak past each other, Chair. Let's clarify this issue again. DM.
Maybe hold it there, DM. Yeah.
Can we clarify this issue, Chair? Because DM knows that even at the personal, professional level, we've got huge respect for him. Let's deal with the issue. When the DM says this issue of the standard don't go to court is wrong, okay? What's supposed to happen? And he said himself that he's still going to meet the board that determines the standards. The board must do the work. You see, what he can ask is that the board should stay.
Honorable Montana, hold it there. I think you are revisiting the question. What we'll do, we're going to allow you a last roundup, because otherwise we're not going to finish. We're going to be intervening on each and every matter. So that I won't speak again. He's captured now. I think he's going to respond to it now, and then we as you wrap up on these matters involving you, DM.
Yeah, no, Chair. We've traversed a very long journey on this issue of the accounting standard, and as I've indicated here, is that the board has asked for 21 days. It's as I've indicated to you that the board, there was dissent to the extent to which the court papers, I'm advised, ended up being signed by the CEO to go to the Concord. So, and the position holds to say the AG has made a determination. The ASB informed Parliament. You can pull out the records. Informed this institution, the Office of the Accountant General, National Treasury, the previous scoper, on the basis of outlook on the issues. Now, what has ultimately happened is that the board has arrived at a determination to say they want 21 days. And we've granted that 21 days in an outlook to say, how do we, in a responsible manner, facilitate the withdrawal of the court action and apply the standard as it is now, at the same time find an appropriate standard. But above and beyond, it goes to the issue I've raised before. We are in the process of a legislative review, and we are en route to bring a bill to Parliament on the issues of the road accident fund. So that now, lastly, Chairperson, what Honorable Malmacha says is absolutely correct. My interventions do not seek really to protect RAF, but what I'm trying to get at is for RAF to subject itself holistically to oversight and accountability to Parliament in order to enable Parliament and ourselves to take the correct decisions. And that is the start and end of it, Chairperson. And we will come back to the House on a roadmap that we will develop. What you must know, Chair, yesterday I had a very, very extensive meeting with the board and the executives. Very extensive. I am still seated here, saddled with the fact that there are whistleblower reports which have come my way, which have come the way of Scopa, which completely and utterly change the outlook about their issues and affairs at the RAF, of which now I am trying to have them tested correctly so that we can apply the applicable remedies to it. Issues around corruption, maladministration, misrepresentation of facts and information submitted to Parliament. But what I won't do, Chairperson, is take hurried decisions without having undergone due process. So when I say, Honorable Montana, that all is not well, I say it because what has transpired extensively and exhaustively in the last few months, and specifically weeks, is a concerning situation. And it's also, Chairperson, precisely why we believe the legislative reforms are necessary. Because the flip side of the coin is that beneficiaries and claimants are struggling with the lawyers. They are absolutely struggling. We are saddled with high bills of foreign nationals in the country, which come in and then get money. And so every single day, Chair, our phones are being blown up by complaints. We have instituted a process with the Deputy Minister of Justice to intervene on the judicial matters of the processing of claims, as the report says specifically in the Gauteng division. Amongst others, because of those concerns. So when I say that the situation is bad, is because we need to look at the entire ecosystem, which is inclusive of the audit outcomes, the performance indicators, the operations and information that we have at our disposal. Thank you.
You can pass the bite.
Chairperson, you will delegate to the board and the executives as you deem fit.
Thank you, TM. Honorable Chair, let me start with the matter of the meeting of the 3rd of June. When the invite from PCOTS came, I already had a personal commitment to take care of a terminally ill. I'm sorry to say that now I have to, I did say personal matter of a terminally ill family member who have since passed and will be put to rest this weekend. And I couldn't walk away from that. The first thing I did when I received that, I wrote a note to all the board members. I think the board secretary will communicate that. And I said to them that the deputy chair will attend because I have a personal commitment that I can't cancel, that needed me to be available at the time. I couldn't walk away from that as a woman in my age and responsible, because some women, I don't know whether I have to go through that, but there is evidence. The board secretary will give you. The only mistake that happened was that he omitted to write a letter of apology, which should have followed, because there is the administrative aspect that the board and secretary does in terms of communicating with the various structures. And I even sent a note to the deputy minister as well, informing him that I'm unable to attend. That WhatsApp is still available as well. So you will get those documentation to say that I couldn't walk away from that. And that's why I delegated correctly. It's not like I did not want to come. Okay, sorry, can I just finish? And then
on that, Chair, because I don't want the Chair to move away from that.
No, I'm not moving away from that. Sorry.
That's all, Honorable Bloss.
Yeah, but she must not do that as well.
Oh,
Chair,
no,
in the meeting,
address me.
In the meeting, Chair,
yeah,
the DM gave that explanation that she's giving now. And the question was that the Secretariat has not sent us the apology. And then there was a person who was in the meeting with an something device. That person must reveal themselves here. Who gave a different explanation as to why that thing is on record? They said that last night we had a board meeting that ended very late, and because of that, that's why the chairperson is not here. It's on the record. So they must confirm to us here, because that's what I'm disputing.
Yeah, it's noted. I think they'll come to that. You'll have to deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah, Chair, what I try to explain is that maybe two contexts. The chairperson of the board is right. In two instances, when the special meetings of the board were held, she actually communicated. That will actually be provided for in the minutes. So what I was simply saying is that is in terms of my liaison with the secretariat of the PCOT. So what I was simply saying is that because the meeting of the board ended around 11 o'clock, I could not get hold of the secretariat of the PCOT actually to communicate the apology. But I said to the members to say that in future that particular deficiency will be addressed. And we've actually addressed that because Chairperson, already a day before yesterday, we communicated two apologies to the secretariat of the PCOT. And I apologize for the late communication of the chairperson's apology, Chairperson. That is the matter for the record. So is something it was the board secretariat of the RAF. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Okay. You are fine now, isn't it? Yeah. Chair, you can get out of that one. I think it's clear now.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. And Chair, the second matter regarding a possible lie, the fact that I stated that the RAF is performing very well, that is on record and audited. From 2019-2020, the RAF recorded 57% in performance of its APP targets. Last year, we recorded 84%. No, the year before that, which was audited. And then this current year, that 2024-25, it's sitting at 85%. That is the unaudited performance results. From the time the 5-year strategy started, all the performance record of the APP have been audited by the Auditor General. So those numbers are factual and correct. The only year that hasn't been, that is currently undergoing audits, is the current year, which is sitting at 85%. But all our performance, our APP performance record have never been qualified by the Auditor General. So that is a matter of fact. There's a difference between performance and misconduct. Most of the issues that we're dealing with now relate to matters of misconduct. But a person can perform, and then there could be areas of lapses in conduct. So I think those are two different things. So that wasn't a lie, it's a fact. You'll see the unaudited APP performance is sitting at 85%. And it's also on record that this board actually put almost 50 billion in the claimants' pockets in the last 5 years. That has never happened before. In terms of bringing in efficiencies in the processes, we've taken a lot of money out of administrators and put it in the hands, in the pockets of the claimants, who are basically our core in this organization. That has also been shared over the years in terms of progressively the savings and the claims payments numbers, over the 5 years. So again, that is undisputed numbers that in terms of the performance of the organization. Yes, we've accepted as a board that there's a lot of challenges still existing in terms of, dealing with certain matters of in the RAF. We accept that, and there are, we basically are looking at it with open mind and also putting in new strategies to deal with those things. And matters that we can fix immediately, we're doing that. I mean, with the current positions, we did say to the acting CEO, please, we gave him 4 months to fill the critical executive positions. Then we said the vacancies, fill them temporarily with experienced people so that there is no gap. We're not looking for challenges now that you have people acting but they don't have the competence and the experience to do that. And he has, even including the head of legal. The head of legal was there. It's just that the person was not given a proper acting appointments, but she has been working in that environment. So we've been very clear. Even the matter of the acting CIO, when the matter came to us as a board, we commissioned the REMCO subcommittee to go and do a preliminary review on that one. They came back and confirmed matters of misrepresentation, non-disclosure of critical interests that really confirm integrity issues. And there's additional, substantive matters that came out of that. That's why the board, after following, also getting legal advice on that one, took that decision to place him on suspension. So low-hanging matters that the board could actually deal with, we have been decisive in terms of dealing with those. Thank you, Chair. I think the CEO will deal with the operational matters. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Chair.
No, Chair, I just need clarity. Who's going to deal with my question of the reappointment and evaluation of the 360? I'm asking because now it's passing to the CEO, so who's going to deal with that? Because that's a board resolution. I specifically asked about it.
You would have realized I've not even agreed that you must speak. And I don't think that's fair for the meeting, because if you were to do a follow-up, you would still do follow-up on that question. I don't think now you are being fair to the meeting, Honorable Blose. But perhaps if you could quickly deal with that, Chair, so that you can pass the bite when we've exhausted that.
Honorable Chair, I did state that I can't answer questions that affects the current case. But what I can say is that once the court papers are out, probably by the end of this weekend, some of the answers will come through. I mean, members will be able to read those court papers. But I can't.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you answered on that part. The matter is sub judice. CEO.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I think the first question specific question was from Honorable Montana around the timeline around the CIO. I think I am not going to make the mistake and detail that. From the instruction of the letter that communicating that the board had resolved to put the CIO, acting CIO, on suspension, was sent to me on the 3rd of June. It landed around 8 o'clock in the evening. Obviously, that was after the meeting, the portfolio committee meeting on the 2nd of June. I did
repeat that.
I'm saying the letter to suspend the acting CIO was submitted to myself on the 3rd of June, 8 o'clock in the evening.
Not in the morning.
Evening. I then replied the following morning, registering my reservations. That if I was to execute this in my capacity as the acting CIO, I have a responsibility to, at the very least, consider what the board would have considered in arriving at that decision. Subsequent to that, obviously, I was warned about the possible delay of executing this decision because the board had made the decision. But I was never going to be a rubber stamp to that decision. That was my position, and it is for that reason that I decided to apply my mind to the matters until I received the file, did my own assessment with the internal ER within the organization, and as I indicated that in the circumstance, I will be a charging manager who must appear before the CCMA when the matter unfolds. So I think that's the position. And if obviously that that assertion is considered insubordination, I'm prepared to face that particular charge because I don't think I'll do it any differently if it happened in the circumstance. I made the point that when the announcement was made, when the presentation was made to PICOT, we received it and we received the announcement together. I was this acting CIO was sitting with us in the boardroom. So it can't be correct that to expect that then you must then consequently just sign the letter, and therefore if you don't sign, then it becomes a problem. So I think I just thought I should address that. But in terms of the others issues, I think there were just two other operational issues I think that were raised around the specific targets and whether or not the 120 days target, when did we start implementing it? I think we started implementing the 120 days with the strategy 2020-2025. I think the 1,400 target I referred to was in the previous strategic plan of 2015 to 2020. I think that's the main issue there.
I've seen your hand. You'll come in.
Yeah, you can come in.
You'll come in later on. Yeah. Maybe before you leave the platform, just for the purpose of record, as acting CEO, do you sit in the board?
Yeah, all these meetings that have been referred to were special board meetings, in camera board meetings. So ordinarily we sit in open board meetings, but not in the in camera meetings that we're discussing, amongst others, the issues around the CEO appointment or suspension.
Okay, sure. If you can come in.
Yeah, Chair, with respect, I wish just to place on, I wish just to place on record, Chairperson, there seems to be a confusion. If you go to Hansard or check the presentation that was made by the Vice Chairperson, this is the Vice Chairperson said that the board recommended, not resolve. Because the understanding of the board at the time is that in terms of delegated powers, the decision to actually implement lies squarely with the chief executive officer. So, but I just want to put on record, Chairperson, to say at the time it was.
You must assist us, Secretary.
Yes, Chairperson. Yes, Chairperson.
We are very normal. We know what the chair said, and she did not dispute what she said. She said the CIO is suspended. Yeah, and she confirmed that. Yeah, I don't know what you are trying to do now, Honorable Ghana.
So I will have asked, Chair, in my line of questioning, when did the acting CEO get appointed? Which meeting appointed the acting CEO?
Chair, if I the chair is just walking in. We appointed the acting CEO on the meeting of the 27th of March. No, sorry, not March, May. Sorry, May, 27th of May.
No, it's fine. Let them finalize. I think I understand why you are all raising and I understand why you wanted to throw questions directly now, because it's now even more confusing.
The manner in these things are sequential, and if I speak for 3 minutes, then there's no sequence. Because what you will start realizing, Chair, because now I'll ask the CEO, I don't know who answers this question, to say, in the EXCO now, at the time of appointment, how many people will have qualified to have been a CEO, considering the number of acting positions at the EXCO level? And at the moment, how many at the EXCO level of RAF are actually not acting in their positions? And you'll find that there are like 2 or 3. you have an exco that's acting. Now, if Chair, where I was going to go to, in that response around the board, the delay in the acting, what do you call, implementing of the decision. Let's say the board decides that the acting CEO has its insubordination. You use those words. Then you start to realize that you are running out of people to act in acting positions. That's where you are getting to. Because like if you look there, it's all actors.
Okay.
And Chair, as a last, maybe to end with this, there's this marketing contracts as it was revealed to Scopa. 2 of them worth 500 million. You know them. You gave Scopa that. Who will have been the person that signed those contracts in this whole acting? Because I don't know who's acting where now. Who is the person responsible for signing these marketing contracts and advertising contracts at RAF at the moment?
Yeah.
And what's the level of vetting? So as a last, when someone is appointed to an acting position, what level of vetting is done? Because that acting CIO, it's clear that there was no vetting. And these acting positions are used to say, no, you can come act, there's no vetting. We'll only vet you when you are appointed full-time. As a result, you've got positions that remains vacant and there are people acting for a long time because there's no vetting for actors.
You were following up. Let's leave it there. Let them answer. I've seen your hand, Honorable Mabena. Then you can then follow up. You were passing the bite, but there are supplementary questions that were relation to that. I'm not sure whether they are going to the board or they are going to yourself. I can't see you there, but I saw you wanted to intervene on some answer.
Yes, Chair. Thank you. Good evening, members. Chair, I just wanted to answer on the issue of the foreign claimant. That is a Malawian claimant that's claiming the 1.4 million. That's Modao case, and we've appealed it at the SCA. That's part of our issues to say that we need legislative reforms in terms of payments of undocumented foreigners that we're busy with. So it's at the SCA. Secondly, Chair, I just wanted, because the issue around who signed the papers to the Concord with regard to the AGSA matter, that there was a dissenting voice in the board meeting. I would just like the COSEC, as the keeper of secret and knowing what really happened at the meeting that we are all in, to that just make it clear to the members here what had happened at that, because there was no dissenting vote there in that meeting. So the COSEC to please just clarify it in terms of governance-wise. Thank you.
You're part of the board.
We were in that board meeting as executives and the board deciding on what's the next step in terms of are we going forward with the AGS matter or not? So I'm not part of the board, but the executives are invited to board meetings. So we were there when the board made a decision on this matter.
DM, but do you see what we are now subjected to?
Chair, you see, Chair, yesterday, amongst others, this is precisely, maybe let me be this candid so that I don't have to come back again. We are settled, Chair, at RAF with the following. A divided board.
Okay.
We are settled with sharp differences on issues, and we are settled with the board and executives whom no longer, in my opinion, work well together. If I were to use a political term, I would say factions
in the board
about in RAF as an ecosystem, board and executives I used the term earlier on, ukutibelana. Angazi how I put it in English. And this was very clear yesterday. That is, and this is why I keep probing as I do. So that it's clear what you see. Let me, the Scopa meeting was a similar scenario. It's accusation and counter accusation. So that's the bottom line. And I don't think it needs to be said because it's categorically seen.
No, it's fine.
So
I just wanted that intervention.
Let me then say this, Chair, on this issue. The Secretariat and the board can take you through the sequence of the issues around the Concord. But yesterday, yesterday, the issue of the papers was put to me by the board and the executives that the chair didn't sign. And she indicated that she didn't agree that we should continue. Manje, if that's not dissent, then what is it? This is ultimately.
So you are equally picking here with us now that there was no dissent.
I'm saying to you, Chair, yesterday, I was informed. So what I'm saying to you, Chair, is that the chair was not in agreement. What they're reporting. And therefore the board delegated that the CEO should sign.
Okay.
And if they're paying, Chair,
DM,
it will tell me everything I need to know about yesterday.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Madam at the back.
Thank you, Chair. I think the Chair can clarify this. Yesterday in the meeting, she said the board voted in favor of continuing to the Concord. And in that meeting, there was no dissenting vote. Subsequent to the meeting, she had her doubts, and then she decided not to sign the papers. So in the vote to go to the Concord, she did not have a dissenting vote.
Thanks very much.
May I request just one thing?
Yeah.
She's here.
Look, you know, you were subjected to this and that counter say. Now you'll then appreciate why we needed to have this type of a conversation. Imagine the embarrassment we'll suffer if we were to meet with Scopa, having to do oversight on this committee, appearing in Scopa, meeting this type of understanding for the first time. Ndateltwal, you are not a participant on this one. Your time is coming. You still gonna, I see you are busy raising your hand in that delta. We're gonna give you an opportunity. We're going to ask you questions. Honorable boss, I'm ruling on this matter. Colleagues, I don't think I'm going to allow follow-ups on this matter. Yeah, but I don't think it will assist because you can see what we are dealing with. And this is in front of the people of South Africa, by the way, we're live. Now, DM, I think we might need more conversation about this spot. And I don't think continuing to ask them questions is going to assist anyone. Because I condemned that, or I called him to order when he was saying they are misleading. But it would seem that we are misled back and forth. And I don't think that's the direction we need to take. I think perhaps in as far as answering from the board, we must leave it here now. And then, but let me not suppress Mabena. You had a question, Mabena. My fear is you'll still be taken forth. Someone will answer and someone will counter. But let me allow you that opportunity because I have suppressed your way through it.
Hey, Chair, I don't know, like, we are very different today, like, we are definitely, I don't know, maybe I must change the soap that I bath with, eh? It's different, like, honestly. You
are suppressing me.
I think, yeah. But here is the question. On the issue of vetting again, someone that is acting is not vetted. And then we said also that there is ongoing vetting that is currently happening. Here is my question. If the current vetting process comes back, says A, B, C, D have failed the vetting, or their vetting was not successful, and they've been acting, they've been exposed to state secrets without a security clearance, who ultimately must take responsibility in terms of that? Because that means you would have exposed the most sensitive information to someone that was not vetted. And the thing that we are saying, that there is a vetting that is currently ongoing, and I believe that the vetting also is quite extensive to other executives. So now all of those people, and we've got so many acting chief executives at the C-suite level, and all of those comes back and says none of these people. I'm not preempting the process, but I'm saying as a risk mitigation strategy at a board level, we spoke about here that there's a regal that is there at board level. What then do we do at that level? Because someone that was acting would not, you might not be necessarily be in a position to even hold them accountable if it comes back to say that they failed the vetting process.
Thanks, Honorable Mabel. Honorable Kobe, do you still want to really say something?
Chair, it's just a clarity-seeking question. I think the deputy chairperson said that the acting CEO was appointed on the 27th of May. Right. But Mr. Letswalo was then put on special leave on the 28th of May. So during that 24 hours, did RAF then have two CEOs? One acting, one new acting, while Mr. Letswalo was there until he was then given a letter or the instruction that he's on special leave. I think maybe I'm confusing the sequence of events, but if the board could then clarify us. Thanks, Chair.
Chair, if you could come in on these two questions that have been asked. I'm closing it now. You because I think we are becoming a circus now. We are becoming a circus. Please, comrades, colleagues, please, just allow me to lead you now. Just allow me to lead you. Can I just really subordinate you to my chairmanship? Please. If you can come in, I've seen you have been agitated from long time ago. You raise your hand. I'll only allow you and allow the chair, and I'll close on you guys. And perhaps I'll even release you.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. And thanks for the opportunity, I guess, to allow me to speak. I think before I speak, one has to confirm that sometimes it's quite hard and difficult in some of the circumstances. But Chair, I want to be transparent and share a couple of things. I think of recently from audit committee, and I'll bring the issues of risk governance into play. Of recently, I can confirm that we have signed off the F's, the annual financial statement for AGSA to audit. We've also signed off the APPs or the APR for the AGSA to audit. There is assurance as well that the internal audit has audited those numbers, and we're comfortable with that. We're now waiting for AGSA to then pronounce in that regard. What that demonstrates is that from a performance point of view, just in terms of the APP, the organization has achieved 85%. When you look at the same number over the last 5 years or so, on average, the organization has achieved 84%.
Without disrupting you, my man, go straight to your point, because that matter has been clarified properly. That
the point I'm trying to make, Chair, is that as a chair of audit committee and on behalf of the audit committee, I think we have also picked up issues around governance failures within the organization, to the extent that in terms of Treasury Regulation 3.1.1.15, we have actually written to the ministry around the concerns, because that Treasury regulations allowed us. This is now the audit committee. I just wanted to be transparent and put it before the committee that...
What are the issues you are raising there?
Chair, the letter has been submitted. It has been acknowledged. I don't want to disrespect the ministry. In there, PCOT has been cited. I would respect that you get that letter at that point in time, if the chair allows. But there are
PCOT is cited. You are saying the PCOT is cited in the letter?
The PCOT was cited, or an issue that impacted PCOT is highlighted in there.
Oh. Hi. DM, do you have this letter that the audit is speaking about?
Chair, the letter, I learned about the letter yesterday, Chair. And secondly, Chair, let me say this. I want to indicate this, Chair, when I speak about the ecosystem, and make an example and say the Department of Safety and Security here in the Western Cape gets a clean audit. But if you look at the elements and areas of crime within the Western Cape, you see the challenge that we have. And so the context in which we say we're looking at the whole ecosystem is inclusive but not limited to impact of what those audit outcomes and assessments do. Now, what you're going to have yourself settled with here, Chair, as an observation, there is a tendency at RAF for everybody to try and prove themselves right and everybody else wrong. And then it becomes a... And so I'm asking you, Chair, to just to beg your indulgence on this matter of Concord, to ask the Chair to respond. Maybe put it differently, why didn't she sign the papers?
Look, I've already requested the Chair to come in. I think there are 3 issues that she must come in on. There are follow-up questions by both Honorable Ghana and Honorable Mabena, and the very issue that has been claims and counterclaim. Kubeka, can I just suppress you and I close it at that? I think we must release this board now. After the response by the Chair, I'll give you direction on what must happen. Let's all, you'll have to come closer when we're done with the board. Members have some few questions to you, directly to you, that we may want you to clarify. Yeah. Not now. Let them respond, and then we'll then take a decision on how we move forward with them. Yeah. Chair?
Thank you very much, Chair. Regarding the matter of the AGSA, okay, let me just explain the decision-making process. The decisions of the board are taken by consensus, majority consensus. And then afterwards, there would be board members who dissent and placed on record or disagree. But also the process allows for a member to, if there were issues that were raised unresolved in the process, they can, subsequent to the discussion before the implementation of the decision, express, because we professionals, they are allowed to express their disagreements if they're material. So regarding this matter, the decision of the board, the consensus was reached in the meeting regarding this matter. But there were questions that I raised that were not answered in the meeting. So I decided not to disrupt the decision-making process because obviously the consensus was reached. But subsequent to that, I wrote a very detailed letter stating that I'm in disagreement with the decision because there's certain fundamental questions that were not answered. So the board called a special meeting and in fact, before the signing of the Concord papers, I made sure I actually requested a sitting to go through those unanswered questions so that they can satisfy me as a chair of the board, because I had a fiduciary duty to sign this, and I couldn't sign in principle if there were fundamental disagreements and unanswered questions. That would be a deal breaker in terms of my fiduciary duty as a board member, and secondly, as a chairperson. Can I finish? And after that, they went through. Can I just explain, Chair?
No. Honorable Kobe,
So the meeting was taken. There was a special meeting to consider my concerns. But instead of considering my concerns, the meeting turned into taking a decision to appoint the CEO to sign, because clearly I couldn't sign. I did make it clear to the board members that if my questions are answered, I won't be able to sign because I'm not comfortable with the decision. So that's what happened, Chair. Then I didn't sign.
There was a question relating to vetting, to vet act member. That was the question, Honorable Ghana, right?
Okay.
Yes, it was. So I'm saying there seems to have been, and this continues, that people are appointed in acting positions. Because if they are acting, then there's no need for vetting, because you are appointed today. I guess on the 27th, when you're at the board, the acting CEO didn't know that it's going to be the acting CEO. In the evening, it was the acting CEO. So there are no checks and balances. That's why you are sitting with the case of the acting CIO that you had to suspend from an acting capacity, because was just taken in like appointed. I know, come, China, come, you are appointed.
No, thanks, Honorable Ghana. Yeah, that.
Chair, the positions that the board influences in terms of our delegated authorities are executive positions. And all those positions, they're supposed to have gone through the vetting process. So when you actually ask somebody to act in a position that is parallel, you would expect that all the due processes have gone through. I'm just talking about in principle. And then the lower part, obviously the CEO appoints acting incumbents in that process. We were, and we still accept that, we were sitting with a long list of vetting executives that hasn't gone through the vetting process. And we were basically told that the process is outside our control. And yes, we do accept that the SSA actually execute that process as long as all the members that are expected to be vetted have submitted their documents. But what has happened currently now with the CEO, that the acting CEO, he's an executive. He shouldn't have been gone through that process of being vetted or in the process of being vetted, basically. So you're not taking somebody at a lower level who hasn't been submitted to the vetting process to actually act at a higher position. But the lower level staff, then the executives actually appoint the executive. But it has been a concern to us that the vetting is an issue in this organization. But there are dependencies in the sense that there's certain areas of it that are outside of their control. And also we've been assured that the MIE integrity vetting process, that includes criminal checks, takes place before all the senior members go through, get appointed in terms of the appointments process. So yeah, no, but that's my answer, Chair. I don't know if there's another question.
No, it's fine. I think let's leave it, colleagues. We will never get sufficient answers. I think we must concede to that. You have a question for the chair. Let's hear the question for the chair.
Yeah, my question.
You want to interrogate me in front of our colleagues from the department?
No, Chair. I think now this is more a governance question for you. That if the board takes a decision and the chair or anyone else in that board refuses to implement that decision, does that not constitute insubordination? Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thanks very much, colleagues. Colleagues, you will never get answers. It's clear because you will get an answer. Someone is going to contradict that answer. So it's not necessary, colleagues. I know, Honorable Montana, you are bending, you are itching, but I think we need to make this determination. Honorable Skwamba.
Can I just put one sentence to you, not to the team, Chair? Because
it's proposal from my side.
Chair, let me say in one sentence, because he's talking about governance. But I don't think that the issue the Chair is answering, it has to do actually with the very existence of the RAF in terms of the financial implications, the impact on the financial statements of this company. So this standard issue is not a small issue. It has to do with the very existence.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable. Yeah, thanks, Honorable Montana. Ushigwamban.
Chair, mine is just a proposal because I can see that bad things are happening here at RAF. There's genocide here at RAF. So
that's a big word.
Yeah, and then now I want to suggest, Chair, because I overheard your comment that you are actually pushing or you are forced to chase these people so that we can have Mr. Litswalo alone so that we can ask him questions alone. But I want to propose that let's rather ask Mr. Litswalo questions in their presence so that they can lie while he's here.
No, colleagues, the Chair has never been inefficient or ineffective in terms of guiding this.
No, I'm not suggesting that.
I note your concern, yes, but allow me to rule.
Thank you.
This is what is going to happen. We are not here to conduct a tribunal. We are here on fact-finding process. Therefore, we're going to have our own session with Mr. Rizwan. What has assisted is that he would have heard everything that was said here, that in case you are to ask him, he will still exercise his right, by the way, on matters that he feels that are sub judice, he may not want to divulge here, just like they did. But I don't want to create a situation as if we are pitting the other against the other. That's not our responsibility. Our responsibility is to get information from Mr. Litswalo. I think I must clarify that record. So we're going to afford that opportunity. I need to take this opportunity to thank the DM for having created an opportunity for these colleagues to come here and account. Had you not brought on debriefing, you have always indicated to me that there are challenges at RAF, but I don't think we have ever imagined that the extent of challenges is what we are dealing with now. I must be blank and honest. Where I'm seated, it may not be in my terrain, it may not be my province to make that type of a judgment. But there's a total governance collapse in RAF. At least at that level. I'm convinced. I don't want anyone to convince me again. There is, to the extent that even the DM acknowledges that they are what would use the phrase of factions at the governance level, it's a problem. And I really wonder to what extent that you even subscribe to the King's Corporate Report, the King's Code. I don't think you are even closer to that. But look, we appreciate the fact that you came. To the extent you could, you did answer. And to the extent you could contradict each other, you did. So that any other pronouncement we make from our side, it will not be a prejudice in whatever way. DM, like we've said from the beginning, we appreciate that, and that this is happening live when the people of South Africa are watching, so that they know exactly what they are dealing with, so that we are not seen to be sweeping other issues under the carpet and so forth. And the interventions that continuously you made assisted us also to open our thinking and our minds to see what is actually happening. We appreciate your honesty to say you have written a letter that cites us. We are going to request to see that letter. Formally, we are requesting formally that particular letter, that we need to see that letter where you are citing the PCOT in your writing relating to matters relating to governance. DM, I'm going to release you and the team. We appreciate it has been a long night. We'll remain for an hour with Mr. Lutswalo to have our own interaction with him. And then from there, we'll then communicate with you of what we think should be from our side, the way forward. If you could say parting shot.
Chairperson, I want to thank the Portfolio Committee. I see that Honorable Montana's out, just on the very important point that he raised as a one-liner, to say to him that obviously there is consequence to the issues around the Concord, and hence the 21 days for an impact assessment to be done. And to reiterate what I said in this meeting, that we need to find a responsible way and manner in which we can deal with that particular matter, and hence the urgent need to engage with the ASB to indicate on this matter, which I'm meeting tomorrow. And then lastly, Chair, is this. The challenges which we are currently experiencing at RAF obviously require a collective effort from all of us. And earlier on, I said I met with the board and the executives yesterday. In that meeting, I said, so that the committee can take comfort, we are here to point to where the challenges are, with a view to then take informed decisions about the future and direction of RAF. So it's a classic example of what the problem has happened now, that can you not characterize the fact that the chairperson of the board says she will not sign the papers as dissent, right? But what happened in this meeting when I said that? There was a direct contradiction from the executive that that's not what happened. Just before you hear, just now, because I don't know what else it is when the chairperson of a board dissents and then you want to contradict me here. So it goes to the heart upon which RAF continues to present information. And I'm just wanting to issue a warning to the executives in your presence. Disabuse yourselves of this tendency. And Chair, as I've said, we have met yesterday, and we are going to apply our minds objectively in the interests of the RAF for the entire ecosystem, and come back to you with a concrete set of recommendations and the way forward. So I want to thank you very much, Chair, for this opportunity, because a part of me had assumed that after yesterday, we had all seen and taken time to reflect on the issues that were raised. I'm seated here convinced that that did not happen. There's a hardened attitude to continue on a path which I can only summarize around what Ms. Trunchbull says in the Matilda movie. I'm right, you wrong. I'm big, you small, and there's nothing you can do about it. That is the attitude at RAF. To the board and to the executives. Shape up or ship out. And we will come back to you, Chair, because RAF cannot continue on this direction. And so when the Honorable Malma just says it's embarrassing, he's correct. He's absolutely correct. And I apologize to the committee that you had to be subjected to this. This is not what a professional entity with a professional board and professional executives should be conducting themselves in a parliamentary engagement. And it's the last time, Chair, that such will happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was your parting shot, TM. Just to concede that in my almost 10 years of involvement in legislative work, I've never faced this type of a circus. I've never faced this type of, which I could touch and smell a sense of dishonesty. I've never had that experience, but it is what it is. It's a trajectory that we have to traverse. It's a uncharted route that we'll have to charter. Thanks very much. Have a great night. We'll communicate you very soon. And there are certain information that we may need, including that letter, including the minutes relating to the Concord. No, I think acting DG thought I'm done. Acting DG, I'm not done. I apologize to the meeting. We're not done. Yeah. I don't think you did it purposefully with intention to undermine the committee. But I think, colleagues, without wasting your time, go home, go and sleep. As part of sleeping, kindly reflect surely on your conduct today. Just take time in your own 2 minutes in your own corner. Ask yourself hard questions about what you are doing. There are more than thousands beneficiaries, by the way, DM, who are watching this with a sense that maybe they are going to be getting something that is helpful. But thanks very much. Have a great night.